Pete here with another review, and what this is a 2019 Latvian field ration menu number 7. These are meant to be some of the nicest rations going around, and I can't wait to try that rye bread. Okay, let's get into it. Alright, let's have a quick look at the outside of the packaging here. As you can see, across the top here we have field ration number 7, both in Latvian and in English. And we have a contents list here as well, again, both in Latvian and in English. We also have the calories per item there, and at the bottom here we have a total calories there of 2314. So that's a lot of calories for one ration, but this would do you for around that 12-hour period. Now you have a best before date down here of 2021, so being that there's a shelf life of around 2 years, this would be a 2019 ration. There's nothing else written on the ration at all. All the information is on this adhesive label. Alright, so let's break into it and we'll see what we've got. Now we do have a little bit of a hole in the top here, so we'll just pull that back and we'll start pulling out our items and we'll see what we've got. Now first up, actually it looks like possibly we may have a leak somewhere. And yeah, look, that's what it'll be. It'll be the jam for sure. The apricot jam looks like it's sprung a leak. Now that's fairly common, that the jams in these Latvian rations do leak. They need to come up with a better way of having their jam. Alright, so then the other item that we have here is chocolate. This is a 36 gram chocolate bar there. Now this would be rice porridge with apples. Then we have a 50 gram serve of raisins. Oh look, there it is, the rye bread. 100 gram serve there. Nice and dense, I'm really excited about that. Now we have our main. Now this main is, as you can see, it's covered in jam there. This is pea puree with smoked bacon, a 250 gram serve. Then we have our accessory pack. We'll just break into that. And inside of that we have 2 20 gram sachets of sugar. We have 4 Nescafe Classics. We have a Lipton yellow label. We have a lemon fresh wipe. And we have a spoon, passable. And we have our power gum spearmint. Oh, right. So it looks like maybe both the jams looks like they exploded, or possibly was it only this one, which is the black currant. Maybe the apricot jam survived. That definitely looks like it's leaked. That's definitely been crushed. Now again, this is a very, very common occurrence in these Latvian rations, that the jam in these little containers burst. They obviously get crushed, mainly by this big can rolling around in there, and that's what does that damage. And finally, we also have our little Esper Stove here as well. So there it is there, little Esper Stove. Little instructions for that. We have our closure device or rubber band. We have a packet of matches there. That one is got a little rooster on there. He looks pretty happy. And we also have some Esper branded fuel tabs there for the stove. Alright, so what we'll do, we'll get everything all laid out a little bit neater and we'll be right back. Alright, that is the entire contents there of the ration. I've cleaned the jam off as best I can, and let's get started. Alright, first up we might just try out our lemon fresh wipe and we'll see what that's like. Alright, there you go. Yeah, look, that does smell a mild lemon, and it is fairly moist and fairly rigid too, which is nice. Okay, perfect. Alright, next up we'll get our main open, and we'll get that heated on our Esper stove. There you go. Have a look at that. Have a quick smell. Yeah, look, that definitely smells like pea. Sounds like a pea and ham soup. It's obviously pea and bacon. So that's why it smells similar. It's very hard in there. So let's get our stove set up and we'll get it heated. Now to use the Esper stove, you obviously fold these down that way and these that way, and then you have yourself a platform there where you can drop the can onto. Alright, and we have ourselves some Esper tabs here. We'll just break them out. Alright, there you go. Alright, let's try 3 in there. And we have our matches here. They're little brown tip matches there. Alright, that's taken off straight away. So what you do with the can here, instead of peeling back the lid completely, you leave a little bit on there and then you can use that as a handle. Alright, and while that's cooking, what we'll do, we'll get a few other things opened here. So these are raisins. Yeah, it's a 50-gram serve there of raisins. And we also have our chocolate bar here. This is 36 grams. Wow, can you hear this thing already? It's already taking off. Alright, so we actually have 2 chocolate bars here, which are stuck together. I'm not sure if you can see on there what that says. Nice. And we have our rye bread as well. Oh, so a little bit of jam on there I didn't clean off. Alright, let's get that open. Oop. So a bit of a smell of that. Wow, that's a really deep molasses sort of rye. That's a really dark rye bread. I've not really had rye bread that's that dark, but that is really dark. I'm going to quickly give this a stir because this thing is taking off. Wow, this is when you know how bad your spoon is. It is very flimsy. Okay, my spoon is melting a little bit from the heat. It's not really a great spoon. Oh wow, that is super hot. I think 2 tablets or maybe even 1 tablet would have been plenty. Wow. Alright, look, I think I'm going to take this off the heat already. I think that's plenty cooked. Now this is just a standard, obviously black tea. There you go. Sit back and relax. It's nice. The camera would focus, that'd be even better. And we've also got a Nescafe Classic. Now there is no creamer, So obviously in Latvia, we obviously like our coffee black. Now we do have these 2 huge 20-gram serves of sugar. Now I don't have sugar in my coffee, I generally just have black coffee, so I won't be needing those. And the next thing that we're going to be looking to get ready is our rice porridge with apples. Now this calls for about 100 ml of boiling water, and it allows for 8 minutes rest time. Now I don't have a measuring, so I'm just going to guess. And that looks like it might be about right. Now it doesn't look like there's too much of any sort of flavouring in this. The apple pieces there are absolutely tiny. They're no bigger than one of the grains of rice. So I feel we're going to have to add a little bit more to this porridge to make it a little bit more enjoyable. So what we might do whilst it's hot is we might mix in some sultanas. And we'll top that up with just a little bit more water. Okay, that looks good now. Now it does say on the instructions here to pour it into a bowl, mix with water, stir, and then cover. So I haven't got anything to cover it with, so I might just see if I can just tear open this and just place that on top there. And we'll just put that aside there, and we'll wait the 8 minutes for that to be ready. Okay, while we're waiting for this to rehydrate, we might just try our sultanas on their own. Look, they're just a traditional sultana, nothing exciting there. We'll give that a try. Yeah, look, they're just a great sultana. Everyone's had one of those before. They're nice and juicy. They've actually got quite a fair bit of flavour to them. They're nice and fresh, is what you would expect. And I might try some of this rye bread. See if I can get that apart. There we go. I'll just try a little bit of that on its own. Give that a try. Wow, that's a very dense, rich rye bread, and it's really sweet. To me, that reminds me almost of like a fruitcake. That is that sweet. That's really enjoyable. We might try that with a little bit of apricot jam. As our blackcurrant jam looks like it's not survived. Actually, that doesn't look like it's that well either. Might just try a little bit of that on its own. Yeah, that's totally fine. Nothing wrong with that. So what we might do is try a little bit on our rye bread there, and we'll try that. Yeah, look. That was really nice. The rye bread, I'm pretty sure, is more intended to go with the main, and the jam is intended to go with the rice porridge, but they go together really well. Alright, we might just try our coffee, see what that's like. Yeah, look, that's alright. That's standard. That's just Nescafe Classic. There's no problems with that at all. Alright, well, while we're waiting for that to rehydrate, we might actually just try our main. Now that tin's cooled down a little bit, but even on the short time that was on the Esper, it actually burnt on the bottom as well, as you will see. This spoon is really flimsy. I'm not sure how you could cook for a long time without it melting. It definitely melted on the short time that I was cooking. This is a really gluggy sort of main, as you can see on there, that it did burn. And we've left a little bit behind, but that's alright. Okay, let's have a quick look at this. What it looks like is it is obviously not green peas, it is yellow peas. And it looks like they are fairly thick. It's not so much like a soup or anything. It's like a thick pea and bacon meal. So we'll give that a try. All right, just have a look at that. If the camera will focus, there you go. I'll give that a try. Wow, that's really nice. There's not a lot of texture to anything. The meat is fairly crumbly. Obviously the peas are fairly soft, but that's got a great flavour. Now it doesn't come with any salt or any pepper or any hot sauce or anything that you could add to it. So really, that's as good as it's going to get. And you know what? That's really nice. It's a real wholesome meal of just obviously peas and bacon. That's just awesome. Now, the bread, I'm pretty sure is meant to be served with the main. I don't know if you're meant to do that, but anyway, we'll give that a try and see what that's like. Yeah, you know what? I'm not sure that goes real well together. That bread is so sweet. It is almost like having a fruitcake with your main. So I don't really know if that's how you're meant to have it, but it is such a sweet bread that just doesn't go with it at all. Just on its own, this is the way to have it for sure. Alright, let's have a look at rice porridge, and we'll see whether or not that has rehydrated at all. Yeah, look, I think adding in the Sultanas gives it that extra layer of flavour, because I think just on its own it's going to be fairly boring. Alright, we'll just try that a little bit on its own. We'll see what that's like. Yeah, look, that's not too bad. Try it with the Sultanas. Yeah, that's really nice. Probably should have done it round the other way. Should have had that first, but that's alright. Now, what I've read is that you are meant to put the jam in with the rice porridge and mix that in and see what that's like. Alright, let's try that. Yeah, that's really nice. The rice itself is fairly soft. There is no sort of milk powder or anything with it. It does have a little slight sweetness just on its own, but adding in that apricot jam, that's just turned it up to the next level, and it is really sweet, and that is a really good dessert. Yeah, look, that's really lovely. Very good. That was really nice. Alright, we might just wash that down with a little bit of our Lipton tea. Yep, and that's completely standard as well. There's nothing out of the ordinary with both that coffee and obviously that black tea as well. Now the only other part that we have to this ration is this dark chocolate. It does say on the top of it there, Ruta or R-U-T-A, and a date there of 1913. So we might just try that and see what that's like. That is a beautiful chocolate. That's a really dark chocolate. I'm more of a fan of the dark chocolate than the milk chocolate. That is really nice. Alright, I might just have some more of this because honestly, this is really lovely. For a main that has very few ingredients, which looks like it's just obviously peas and bacon, there's obviously some spices and some other things in there, but it is a fairly basic, wholesome meal. I'm not really sure if that's a traditional Latvian meal, but that is really nice indeed. Alright, just wash that down with a bit more coffee. Let me just sum up a few things here that were great. Look, everything was great. This chocolate, this dark chocolate, that was beautiful. I'm a big fan of dark chocolate. Quite a fond fan of that one. I'll be eating that later. This rice porridge with apple. You know, the apple, honestly, there's very little apple in there. I think the idea is that you put the sultanas in, and obviously with 2 different sorts of jam, you could sweeten that up and you could take that to the next level. This rye bread. Wow, I tell you, it's the sweetest rye bread you've ever had. It is more like a rye cake. Very enjoyable, very dense bread. I've seen other reviews where it's all come out all glistening on either side. It seems like they're repacking it in a different way. That's really nice. The coffee and the tea, completely standard. There's nothing interesting about those that no one's ever had before. And obviously we had a bit of a failure here with our blackcurrant jam. But overall, what a great ration. You know, going into this ration, I was very excited about trying the rye bread, and I watched a few other reviews, and everyone raves about this ration. They said it's a great ration, so, and it didn't let me down. What a great ration that it was. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Please do subscribe. I've got more vintage rations coming up. I know you like the vintage rations. Everyone's done modern rations, but they're good to do. And they're a great meal. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and please do subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Alright, see yous.